I kissed Emily goodnight, feeling the warmth of her lips against mine, and quietly stepped into Sarah and Liam's room. They were fast asleep, their little faces serene under the soft glow of the nightlight. "I'll be back in the morning," I whispered, closing their door gently behind me. The night air was cool and heavy with fog as I walked to my car. It was eerily silent, the usual sounds of crickets and distant traffic swallowed by the thick mist. I shook off the uneasy feeling that settled in my chest and got into the car, starting the engine. The headlights barely cut through the dense fog as I navigated the familiar suburban streets towards the old industrial plant where I worked as a security guard. Everything felt off tonight. The fog seemed denser, the night darker. I parked in my usual spot in the vast, empty lot and stepped out, the sound of my shoes crunching on the gravel unnaturally loud. As I walked toward the plant, I heard it, a rustling behind me. I stopped and turned, peering into the darkness, but saw nothing. "Just a stray cat," I muttered, trying to convince myself. I reached the security office and clocked in, beginning my routine rounds. The plant was a maze of empty corridors and abandoned machinery, made all the more sinister by the flickering fluorescent lights. Halfway through my shift, the power went out, plunging the entire plant into darkness. My heart skipped a beat as the emergency lights flickered on, casting everything in an eerie red glow. The radio on my belt crackled, but all I got was static. I tried calling for help, but my phone had no signal. That's when I heard the footsteps, soft, deliberate, echoing through the empty halls. "Hello?" I called out, my voice trembling. No response. Just the footsteps, growing closer. I swung my flashlight around, and there, at the edge of the beam, stood a figure cloaked in shadows. I couldn't make out any features, just the shape of a person. "Who's there?" I demanded, trying to keep my voice steady. The figure took a slow step forward, then another. My pulse raced as I backed away, turning and breaking into a run. I ducked into a storage room and locked the door behind me, my breath coming in ragged gasps. I could see through the small window in the door as the figure moved methodically through the plant, searching for me. My mind raced. Who was this person? Why were they stalking me? The door handle rattled violently, and I pressed myself against the wall, holding my breath. The rattling stopped, and after a few minutes of tense silence, I dared to peek out. The corridor was empty. Summoning every ounce of courage, I decided to make a break for the exit. I moved quickly and quietly, sticking to the shadows, avoiding the flickering lights. Just as I reached the main entrance, a cold hand clamped down on my shoulder. I whirled around, shining my flashlight into the face of the figure. A grotesque mask stared back at me with cold, unblinking eyes. The figure leaned in close, and I could feel their breath on my face as they whispered, "You can't escape." Panic surged through me as I broke free from their grip, sprinting towards the exit. I burst out of the plant and into the foggy night, but the figure was right behind me. My car was my only chance. I reached it, fumbling with the keys, but just as I unlocked the door, I felt a sharp pain in my side. I looked down to see a knife buried deep, the figure standing over me, their menacing grin the last thing I saw before darkness swallowed me whole.